Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. This is Rabbi Wagensberg as we prepare ourselves for the holiday of Passover. Now it's interesting, says this Sfas Emes, that the mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim, telling the story about our exodus from Egypt, happens before the eating of the matzah, much to many people's disappointment. You mean we're going to be doing this for how many hours until we get to eat? Wouldn't it be better to eat the matzah, have the meal, and then discuss the story? Everyone feels comfortable. Why is the mitzvah of telling the story before the eating of the matzah? Says the Sfas Emes, the reason is because that matzah is simply so holy. How holy is that matzah? Perhaps we could add some points. The Maharil says, just like it says in Meseches Kala, that Kala below bracha asura, that a bride without the Sheva brachos is forbidden to her husband. The Maharil says, similarly, matzah below bracha asura. Eating the matzah without a bracha is also forbidden. He doesn't just mean that if you don't make a hamotzi lechem in haaretz, you can't eat the matzah. We all know that. The Maharil means to say that without saying Sheva brachos, the 7 blessings before the matzah, we wouldn't be allowed to eat that matzah. Go ahead and count in your Passover Haggadah, as the Maharil does. There are 7 blessings that we make before eating the matzah, Hagafen and Shechiyanu and Ho'adama and so on. And we have to say 7 blessings before eating that matzah. Says the Lekach V'Halibov. Do you know we learn from this Maharil that at the time we eat from the matzah, it is the time of Zivug, the time of the union between the Jewish people, the bride, and God, the groom. When God kicked Adam out of paradise because he ate from the forbidden fruit, the verse says, Vayigaresh es ha'adam. He kicked, he drove Adam out of the garden. Says the Tana de Be'eliyahu, because it says Vayigaresh, for the word to drive him out, it shows us there was a gerushin, it was a divorce. Hashem divorced Adam from himself after he ate from the Eitz Hadas. And since all of our souls were part of Adam HaRishon's grand soul, we were all kicked out of the garden at that time. And the reason for that is because we were all responsible for that sin. Either we agreed with Adam to eat, or we didn't rebuke Adam sufficiently, and therefore we were all guilty. So God kicked us all out of the garden and divorced us all. But says the Lekach V'Halibov, every Passover night we have a chance at renewing that marriage between ourselves and Hashem, and it happens at the time we eat from that matzah. I was thinking when I saw this, that could be why a matzah is round traditionally, at least at the Seder table, and that's because it's in the shape of a ring that a groom gives to his bride. And this is the ring that we are receiving from Hashem on Leil HaSeder. And since marriage is called Kiddushin, which is from the word Kiddusha, holiness, there's so much holiness to that matzah. So therefore, says the Sfas Emes, the matzah has so much holiness, but sometimes our mouths might not be that holy. If we've spoken Lashon Hara, derogatory speech about others, nivel peh, using filthy words, or just wasting our words and so on, the mouth becomes spiritually defiled. How could such a filthy mouth eat such a holy matzah? So therefore, says the Sfas Emes, God gave us a mitzvah. It's called to tell the story of our exodus from Egypt. We have to use our mouths to tell the story. And as we tell that story, we're involved in a process of purifying the mouth, cleansing the mouth from the spiritual pollutants and toxic waste to the point where there's no trace whatsoever of anything negative in our mouths, and only then are we ready to eat from that holy matzah. Kol hamarbe lesaper besipur yetzias mitzrayim harei ze meshubach. It is praiseworthy to increase. What is praiseworthy? Not just the custom, but the person becomes praiseworthy. And therefore, I think together, we should all try, as we appreciate what's happening at the Passover Seder, let's be extra careful to make sure that our speech at the table is appropriate, Typically speaking, families get together with friends and so on. We haven't seen each other for some time. All sorts of conversations can crop up. Let's try to gently guide the conversations from the beginning of the evening until the end in appropriateness and focusing on the story to cleanse ourselves and purify ourselves so that we fulfill this Passover in the highest of ways. Again, thanks so much for joining me. This has been Rabbi Wagensberg. Have a very healthy and happy Passover.